Jesus of Nazareth, if he existed at all, was born to Mary and Joseph, two Jews from Galilee, which means, shock of shocks, he would have looked like a Jew. Olive skin, dark hair, Semitic features, the same face you'd see on half the blokes haggling over fish in a first century Jerusalem market. Nothing exotic, nothing sub-Saharan, just another Galilean with a beard and a bad diet. And yet, 2,000 years later, along comes the headlines. Forget Jewish rabbi, suddenly he's recast as a kind of African revolutionary, smuggled into Galilee like he'd taken a wrong turn somewhere south of the Sahara. Apparently, Joseph was a carpenter by day, but in his spare time moonlighted as a father in Uganda. Enter Albert Cleage in 1968, who wrote The Black Messiah. Suddenly Jesus is no longer a Jewish rabbi from Galilee, he's an African Che Guevara with sandals, leading the revolution against Rome. A few years later, James Cone arrives, insisting Christ was basically Malcolm X with parables. The Nation of Islam nod approvingly, Rastafarians set it to a reggae beat, and by the time we reach the 21st century, the myth has gone global. Jesus was black, case closed. So, what's the evidence? Revelation 1:14-15. Hair like wool, feet like burnished bronze. And here's where the scam comes in. The text says his hair was white like wool, not textured like it. It's a metaphor for purity and radiance, not a first century afro. As for the feet like bronze, that's not a skin tone. It's describing something glowing hot, like metal pulled from a furnace. In other words, the writer is sketching a supernatural vision. Blazing eyes, shining limbs, stars in his hand, a sword coming out of his mouth, yet somehow modern retellings strip all the cosmic imagery away and pretend it's a mugshot. Hair like wool must mean black, bronze feet must mean dark skin. The reality? If he lived, Jesus was a Galilean Jew. Archaeology of the period show this. Skeletons from Judea in the 1st century show Mediterranean Semitic traits, not a trace of sub-Saharan Africa. So the facts, as dull as they are, if he lived, Jesus was a Middle Eastern Jew from Galilee, not Nordic, not African, just an olive-skinned rabbi who annoyed the Romans enough to get himself crucified. But hey, according to modern activists, we was Jesus's.